Hello and welcome to this week's weekly psychic forecast video for week commencing the 4th of July 2022. We will begin with the overview, which I've already laid out for you. Then we'll go day by day with a spiritual guidance message at the end. There will of course be timestamps so you can dip back in throughout the week. So let's dive on in for the week of the 4th of July. Right. So this week's energy is an interesting one. There's definitely some discontentment in the matrix, I would say, in the mix. Some feelings of disillusionment going around at the moment for a lot of people. And this is something that I actually mentioned in my 4th of July video. So if you haven't already seen that, I'll link to that one above. Yeah, it can be a very challenging week, I feel, where we may feel distracted or despondent, as though things that we're doing aren't working, or we don't feel like we're moving forwards, or we might feel frustrated that we're restricted, we're not seeing the results we want just yet. And very much the wisdom here, the answer that we're being given by Spirit, is actually to focus on the little things that we can do. Focus on bringing kindness. I want to focus on the Dear Spirit card with this on a number 18. Focus on the small things you can do. Maybe the things that don't actually bring you any accolades or any thank yous. The tiny things, acts of kindness that we can do where perhaps nobody even ever knows that we did it. You know, donating something to charity anonymously. You know, maybe it's time to clear out the closet or cupboard and take some clothes down to the charity shop, or put them in one of those collection banks and nobody even knows you did it, but you did a nice thing. It is very much about the small things and finding the kindness and gentleness in small everyday things. And I think that's going to be helpful. I think it's also a week where we do need to keep our focus. Because as I said, there's this very frustrated feel coming through this week. So try and keep your focus, go about your daily tasks. If necessary, write yourself a schedule of what you have to do each day. You know, if you're self-employed like I am, that can be very, very difficult to keep yourself on track if you're feeling frustrated or like you're not in the zone. It takes a lot of self-discipline. So if you're struggling with that, I would say, you know, try and make like a schedule for yourself just to keep yourself on track so that you don't go flying off on a tangent or throw the towel in, because this really isn't the moment to do that, although it is a difficult week. And that's my cat trying to get in the door. Let's see if he wants to come in. No, he just came to check on me because he's a nosy Bengal. Right. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to say is bring kindness and support to people who need it. Do the small things that keep you going. Do the small things that have to be done in your work life and business, or in your home, you know, if you're a parent, or things that you have to do, looking after your garden. Now is not the time to quit. Now is not the time to give up, although it may feel like something of a challenging week where it might feel like our chores are getting on top of us. That 4 energy can be very heavy. It can feel very burdensome. Maybe feel as though we're not getting what we want out of our relationships, for example. But I feel there is a lot we can gain, but it will be small things that we can, small wins, I think, that we will have this week. So let's move on to Monday. Take a look at the cards. Okay, Monday's cards, we have number 41, the Nightingale Spirit. We have number 4, the Heart Chakra. And we have number 8, Justice. Now this is numerologically interesting. Of course, the 4th of July is number 4. It's quite fun that we've got the 4 coming out here. Also the Nightingale Spirit, which says love is all around, and the Justice card as well, which is an 8. Very interesting feel, and I feel this ties in as well with the 4th of July video that I've already mentioned. We are very much challenged, I think. There's some sort of a battle going on here, whether it's internally, you know, whether it's outside of you, between the heart and what we know to be right, you know, and what's actually happening. It feels like the heart very much wants to do the right thing. And it kind of knows what that is, but it isn't quite sure how to implement it, perhaps. So it might feel like something of an imbalanced day, but the reminder comes through very, very strongly about how loved we are and how we should show love to ourselves and to other people. You know, it is the right thing to do the right thing. It's always the right thing to do the right thing. But we must take the individual into account, I feel, and I think that's very important. So we've got the number 41. We've got number 1 leading the 4. So it's number 1 energy that's actually influenced by the 4, but it's actually leading it. So number 1 is the new beginning. It's the self. It's the new idea. It's the new creation that springs forth from nothingness. And with that very solid 4 energy, it can teach 4 that difficult, stable and somewhat burdensome 4 energy. Like I mentioned, 4 can be a burden. It can remind it that change is possible and we can go in a new direction. So I feel that's very important. So it may be a day where governments are being told by the people that a new direction is needed, that justice is needed for certain people, but real justice, not just so-called justice based on laws that perhaps are quite inhumane, that do not treat us in the right way. And this is very much all about humanity and humanity going in the right direction, which I feel we are not so much at the moment, not as much as I would like to see, certainly. And I think as well on Monday, we may feel somewhat unloved, or that the system doesn't care about us, and there is this real feeling of disillusionment, disillusionment with governments, with authorities, with the people who are supposed to do the right thing for us, people that we perhaps abdicated our personal sovereignty and responsibilities to, and I feel that was a mistake. So we may be really seeing that, really feeling that on Monday, but there is this huge loving heart chakra boost that I think is going to come in on Monday, which we can capitalize on. So I would suggest focusing on the heart chakra, bring in some green crystals. I'm very drawn to malachite, which is always a good one. Green crystals are wonderful. Just hold them or put them directly onto your heart chakra, which sits on top of the physical heart. Take care of your heart health as well. Maybe take another look at your diet, because when the heart chakra flags up, very often there may be something that you can do to take care of your physical heart a little bit better as well. So we will move on to, to Tuesday now. Okay, everything's going crazy today. Okay. So Tuesday's cards, we have number 35, the Koala Spirit, number 11, Balance, and the 6 of Water. Okay, Tuesday's very interesting day. Very, very strong reminder here that all is in perfect order right now. You know, everything spiritually is in perfect order. Energetically, it's exactly where it needs to be. And that's a very strong reminder coming in because Tuesday may be quite a wistful day. After the disillusioned feeling of Monday, we may be feeling quite wistful, like, oh, I wish we could go back to when things were like this. You might be thinking about your own childhood, or thinking about how things were in decades past, and wishing that we could go back there. You know, there's a feeling of everything's gone wrong, you know, that this isn't how it was supposed to be, and we can actually romanticize the past. You know, we can have like magical thinking about the past and not remember the bad things. We only remember the good because it felt okay at the time. But we've got to remember we're moving into a whole new energy now, so those old systems aren't going to continue to work, so we cannot go backwards. It's impossible. But what we can do is choose how we move forwards. Very strong reminder here with the Koala Spirit and with the Balance card that everything is in perfect and divine order right now. However disordered that may appear to be, we are moving in the right direction and we're continuing to do so. And there is still balance in the world, even if it looks like there's not. So the best thing to do on Tuesday, if you're feeling this energy, is very much to spend time in meditation, contemplation, prayer. Spiritual practice will be very calming, very healing for you. I do also feel like gentle music may be helpful on Tuesday. There's a connection with music there, or sound for me as well. But just remember that, and this is difficult, I don't like the word, like on this one, spirit has a plan. To me, that's very similar to like, you know, when you're at church and said, oh, it's all part of God's plan. That's not helpful. Those aren't helpful words. They can be reassuring in some circumstances, but I tend to find that saying platitudes like that can be rather unhelpful or perhaps glib, and it can be quite unfeeling as well. Very, very unhelpful when you're in a difficult situation. So I don't want to minimize what anyone's going through at the moment, but I do want to say that no matter how difficult it is, it does have a purpose, and we are all going in the right direction. And yes, there will always be shitty things that happen to us. I'm so sorry if you're having a difficult time right now, or if Tuesday turns out to be a rather difficult day for you. I think the best thing to do is to look for the blessings and the lessons in every situation that we can, and to see how we can use those to help ourselves to grow, to heal, and to improve our lives for the future. We don't live here so that we can be punished or forced to undergo terrible situations. That's kind of not the point of the world. The Buddhists say that living is suffering, and yes, I would agree with that. It is. And it can be very challenging at times, but there is a lot of beauty that we can share and that we can, enjoy together. So try to focus on the positive things on Tuesday, even if it's a difficult day. This is a world of duality, so with the light, there is always the dark as well. And our job right now, which I'm always saying, is to be integration workers, not to be light workers, to be integration workers, to bring the light and the dark together in a cohesive, balanced way, so that we can move forwards as a human race and not be held back by the aspects of ourselves that we're not proud of, or that we don't want to admit to, so that we can become our whole selves. We can become very whole human beings again. It's all about becoming the whole holistic human being. So let's take a look at Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday we have number 12, the Canary Spirit. Number 12, Sacrifice. It's a 12 day. Okay, I see. And the Knight of Air. Okay, now just to remind you, I do pull these cards blind. I don't know what I'm going to get. So this is a very interesting synchronicity that we have here with the number 12 energy. Now, number 12 is the number of perfect governance. It is a number of self-mastery, of wisdom. It is a very powerful number. And I think that's very much the message that comes through for me on Wednesday here. It's about self-mastery and self-sovereignty, with the lovely little crown on our bright yellow canary spirit here. So I'm very drawn to the yellow colours, so the yellow sword, the yellow unicorn's horn, and the yellow canary here. So for me, this is a day very much for the solar plexus chakra, for the self that we put out to the world, and all that entails, for the person that we choose to be in society, and the things that we choose to do, the accomplishments that we have. It feels like an interesting day. I think on Wednesday, I want to say that it's a really good day for getting on with things, okay, for moving forwards, for walking your path. Now, for some people that will involve letting go of things. It may be that it's time to end a relationship, end a job, or to make plans to actually change your life if you can't necessarily change them at the moment. So we can make those changes, those plans to change. Even if we can't take action at the moment, we can make very firm plans so that we can act on them in due course. Because there is something of an impatient feel, I want to say, on Wednesday. We want to get going, we want to do our own thing, but we may not be able to at this point in time. The timing may be off for certain new beginnings, but certainly the impetus to do it is very, very much there with the Knight. Knights are very fast energy generally. They want to get moving, they want to get going. And there is a real feeling of wanting to be your own master, of wanting to do your own thing, again, not be held back by other people. So there's something of a frustrated feeling, because not everyone will be able to do that. They may literally be restricted from doing it at the moment, but it is all about timing. So this is a great day to make a manifesting list, to make a 5-year plan, I want to say. I'm guided to say 5 years for some reason, but to plan for the longer term, what it is that you actually want to do with your life right now. This isn't just, I might like to do this with my career, or I might like to, achieve this over the next 2 months. No, this is a little bit longer term. So try and rein yourself in where possible. Try and be very practical today, even if you feel like you want to jack everything in. It may not be the moment, but it certainly is the moment to plan those changes for the longer term future now, with great wisdom, and very carefully, because there's a very creative energy around with this 12-3 energy. It does bring the possibility of putting plans together that will bring very powerful changes and very positive changes in your life too. So let's move on to Thursday now. Thursday we have number 58, the Stag Spirit. We have number 5, Emotional Loss, not the best card to see. And we have the 8 of Earth. Okay. You know that saying, when the world around you is losing your head, try to keep yours? That's kind of the message I get for Thursday. That's definitely the energy I'm feeling for Thursday. I feel very much that it may feel like stop the world, I want to get off. It's that kind of energy for a lot of people today. It doesn't feel like a particularly positive day. It does feel very difficult, very emotional. Again, I'm going to mention malachite crystal, which is very helpful for the heart chakra. The heart, again, is going to need some support on Thursday. So do what you can do to help the heart chakra there. I will actually put up some resources on my website, angelwingsholistics.com, about the chakras and what you can do to actually keep them balanced and in good condition and nice and strong, but not too strong because they need to be in balance. Let's have a look here. So, oh, that is interesting. You see what we've got with the numbers here? We've got 58, then we've got 58. So we've actually got 58 twice. So 58 is the overarching energy here numerologically. We're in a 58 energy. Now, I know 58 because I am a 58. That's one of my numbers. I know 58. 58s get things done. That's what we do. It's who we are. We use our mind and we keep going. If you know, we don't give up. And I think that's very strongly the message here is don't give up. And if other people are giving up, then you need to give them a nudge and pull them along with you. Lead by example on Thursday. Do your work, do it diligently, and help to keep other people buoyant and help to keep them going as well. I do like with 58, they always say if you want something done, get a 58 to do it. That's always been me when I worked in the corporate world. 58s are doers, they're thinkers, they're very practical, they get everything done. So that's the energy that we can capitalise on. It is there in the system if we want to use it on Thursday. Just don't get swept up in this very emotional vortex in the middle here, because that could be easily done and that could pull you off course. So I'd say head down, try to focus on work on Thursday. Don't get caught up in whatever's going on in the media or in your life or even in your personal relationships, because that, I feel like that could get out of control, get out of hand. I feel that's not a very helpful energy today. I think we could get swept away with some difficult undercurrents of emotion. So it's best to focus on something very practical. And I think things could be achieved today as well. I think you could learn something new. You could achieve quite a lot at work if you can keep your focus, if you can keep going. So that's very much what I feel for Thursday there. So let's move on to Friday. Right, Friday we have number 68, the Wombat Spirit. We have number 6, the third eye chakra. And we have number 14, Balance. Okay, lovely. All right. What I'm feeling for Friday is actually quite a spiritual day. This is a very beautiful energy, a very powerful energy. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a nice day for everyone. Okay, that's not how this works, unfortunately. But the spiritual energy around is very beautiful indeed. And there is a reminder here that no matter what is going on around you in the world, remember to feel at home in yourself. You can always feel at home in yourself. And if you're struggling with that, then take a moment to meditate, sit quietly, reconnect with that beautiful heart centre within you, that beautiful calm that exists within you, because it is your true nature. You know, all of this human stuff, that's stuff that's been piled on top of your true nature to hide it so that we can have this existence in this physical vehicle while we live, you know, on this 3D planet of duality, and, you know, where we have all of these weird experiences that we've apparently decided to have, God knows why. But, you know, remember that you can always feel at home within yourself, and we can always find that calm, that peace. And that's, I think, for me, one of the key functions of meditation is to remind you of your true nature so that you can go within, find that calm and realise it was there all along. That love, that deep spiritual love of the Creator was there all along. We were never separated from it. We were never disconnected from it. So it is a beautiful spiritual day. Could be very interesting. I feel it could be a day We may feel inclined to be a little bit impatient again on Friday. There may be a desire to do some magical working or to speed things up a little bit, but I would advise caution if you're doing any spell work or magical working on Friday. It feels like it's not quite the right timing. It might be that we're a little bit too emotional that day. We're not quite as grounded as we should be in order to make the right decisions and do our magical working correctly. So I would advise a little bit of caution. If you're going to do it, make sure you're coming from the right place. Make sure you're very, very clear and very calm about what you're doing. That's absolutely the key for Friday. We need to stay calm in our magical practice. But it is a great day for spiritual practice. I think it'll be a very interesting day to pull some cards as well if you're feeling off kilter, feeling off balance. Pull a card for yourself, pull an oracle card. If you don't have access to any cards, you can go to my website. You can find the Angel Wings Oracle, which is there for everyone to use all the time, as long as my website doesn't go down for some reason. It is there. I will put the link in the description below so that you can go and pull yourself a card on Friday or any other day if you feel like you need to do that. So let's move on to Saturday now. Let's take a look at Saturday's cards. We have number 45, the Parrot Spirit. Watch your words. Oh, we have number 9, Material Harvest, and number 11, Strength. Okay, so Saturday I'm actually feeling a little bit of envy, possibly some jealousy in the system. So whether that's you being jealous of other people being jealous of you, or both, because both can exist simultaneously. You know, we can be jealous of people who are also jealous of us, which is weird, but there you go. It's human nature. So it's an interesting day. So we've got a lot of 9 energy, 9 and 11 energy are really ruling the day. We've got 45, 9, so 4 plus 5 is 9. We've got a 9 here and we've got an 11. 11 too. So it is, it's a day where great wisdom and great spiritual strength may actually be needed, because I feel like there's this real envy going on in the system. It is to do with actual material things. It's not a very spiritual feel, unfortunately. And this may be a day where people are feeling very dissatisfied with their lot, feeling very dissatisfied with the amount of money, or the fact that maybe they can't buy a home, or can't buy the home they want, or can't afford to put fuel in the car. You know, there's a lot of that going on around at the moment. But it feels like it may be exacerbated on Saturday. There's a real feel of, it's not fair, I don't have enough. And I think from that, there are some real powerful lessons that we can actually glean on this very, very wise 11-2 energy. But there's also an indication here to me that that's coming to a head now, that's coming to an end. So any difficulties you've had affording things, paying for things, that whole system that was in charge of that is coming to an end at the moment. So there is going to be a big change coming. On that number 9, and 9 it's a number of wisdom and experience, but it's also the number that comes before the new cycle when we go to the next 0. So after 9 would be 10, so the next number with a 0. Yeah, so it's an interesting one. We may be feeling very dissatisfied with our lot. I do feel that there is a new system being built right now, and I think we may get a glimpse of it today. We may actually get a glimpse of it when we might sense the blueprint. We might start to sense what it's going to look like. I've said many times before, you know, we are building this new world, but we have no idea what it's going to look like. You know, I'm helping to manifest the new world by trying to stay in a positive place, to keep my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings positive, to project that into the future so that we can manifest together, you know, a much more positive world. But I've said many times, I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no idea what it's going to look like, because it doesn't exist yet, and it has never existed. This is brand new. And there's a very interesting, when you look at it's almost like architect's drawings of temples in the background. And that's curious to me, because, again, that ties in with the number 11, which is the pillars of the temple. You've got literally the pillars of the temple being created in the background of this card. It's the new temple, it's the new world, if you like, that's being created right now. But it's happening in a good way. It's happening for humanity, and we have to remember that. We have to stay in that certainty that no matter how terrible everything looks around us, you need to stay in that absolute certainty, in that state of positive denial that everything will be okay. All right, and that's what I try to do. So regardless of what's going on, it may be quite a tricky day. If necessary, step back from people. Try not to get into any conflict or arguments. You know, try to see how the other person is suffering. I want to say, don't try and see the other person's point of view, because very often, and particularly in political matters, we just can't. You know, we look at it and go, but I don't agree with that at all. They're completely wrong. You know, especially in like left-right politics. That's very, very common indeed. I don't take part in that, but you know how it is when someone holds a belief that's diametrically opposed to what you believe, and you just can't see their side of it. So what I'd say in that case, if you can't see the other person's side, try to see their suffering, try to see them as a human being, try to see them as a sovereign being just like you, who is also suffering, also trying to do the right thing, you know, even if you don't agree with how they go about it. So try to see the perfection in every person, try to see them as this beautiful child of God just like you are, and show them the empathy and kindness that they deserve as much as you do. So let's move on to Sunday now. Sunday's cards, we have number 51, the Sandpiper Spirit. Seems to be wearing some sort of jaunty hat here. We have number 8, Emotional Withdrawal. So I'm still laughing at the Sandpiper Spirit. And we have the Page of Fire. Okay. Okay. Interesting. It's very playful energy today. Very, very playful. I mean, these are both very playful cards. There's a lot of creativity, which is lovely because we can get to connect with our inner child, which is naturally a very playful aspect of us. So I think it would be a very nice day to connect with the playful aspect of yourself, or actually spend time with your own children if they're quite young, if you have small children. That can be very revealing, but it's also a day of great creation. There's a real fiery dragon energy here, but yeah, with these lily flowers, it reminds me of, you know, the lotus growing out of the filthy pond, and, you know, if there's no shit, there's no flower, basically. That's probably not exactly how the saying's supposed to go, but you get my point. You know, if there's no filthy mud, there's no lotus flower. So out of seemingly a difficult situation can come something wonderful. And this is something I've been saying a lot, which I feel is applicable to Sunday's energy, which is things have to get worse before they can get better. And not because they have to get worse, but because until they get worse, what's going on with my camera? There we go. Until they get worse, a lot of people aren't going to see it, or they'll refuse to. I don't know why my camera's jumping up and down there. Let me try and fix that. No, I can't fix it. My camera is absolutely freaking out. I apologise if you're trying to look at the screen right now and it keeps going blurry. There's obviously something very interesting happening in Sunday's energy, that the camera on my phone, which I'm recording with, is getting very flustered at the moment. And I think there is a real feeling of frustration that I was talking about. But like I say, things need to get worse before they get better, and not because they need to get worse, but because some people need them to get worse before they will see that things have to change. We can't actually have change until somebody realises that we need to have change. And some of us can already see it, but a lot of people don't. And there's not enough of us on board with it to actually really make that permanent change just yet. So it may be a time, maybe a day where you feel the need to actually pull back from society, from normal people, for want of a better word. I don't consider myself a normal person in any way, shape or form by any stretch of the imagination. It may be a day where you need to actually go and play, just let off some steam, just go and enjoy yourself for a while. I do apologise for my crazy camera. But try to spend the day doing what feels right for you, you know, so that you can keep going. That number 8 is all about longevity and keeping going. It is about eternity. So find the strategies that you need on this Sunday to keep going, so that you don't get burnt out or feel like you want to quit or throw in the towel, which happens a lot to us spiritual workers. You know, it's a very difficult lifetime, like I've said many, many times before. It's very challenging, so it may be time to find new coping strategies. So let's move on to the spiritual guidance cards and hope that my camera sorts its life out, because it's been very odd. Very odd there. It's like it couldn't focus, so maybe that's the theme for Sunday, that we just won't be able to focus. So, okay. All right, seems to be behaving itself right now, so clearly it was Sunday's energy that was upsetting the camera. Okay, so our cards, we have number 8, meditation, Number 5, healing. And number 7, nothing has gone wrong. And that brings us beautifully around to, I suppose, our summary for the week, but also our spiritual guidance, which is meditate, do your own healing, and remember that nothing's gone wrong. You know, we are in this dark phase at the moment, and sometimes it feels like we're the only speck of light and that we're horribly outnumbered, but we're actually not. Everything is actually currently in balance. So this week, do try to spend time in meditation. And again, with that number 8, it is about finding strategies so that you can be okay, so that you can keep going no matter what happens right now, whether that's beginning a new meditation practice, whether it is you know, prayer or doing Reiki healing on yourself. If you want to learn Reiki, you can actually grab a free course from my website, which I will link below. If you are currently waiting for your documents and your attunement to come through, don't worry, I will get on that. I only tend to do it about once a month because I get so many of them, so bear with me on that one. You will get your guidebook and your attunement. And just remember that everything is in order. And this is what I said earlier on in the weekly reading. Everything is in order, even if it feels like it isn't. So we must focus on keeping ourselves calm, centered and okay, but also on healing ourselves and healing the world as well. So a lot of people, especially like healers, you know, we get into healing very often because we're very broken and we need the healing ourselves, and we forget to do the healing on ourselves. So I'm going to give a little nudge there to the healers out there. Remember to heal yourself as well. Heal thyself. And remember that as you do that healing for yourself, as you give yourself a Reiki session, as you have a therapy session, whatever it is that you need, you are healing the world because you are the world. You are healing the universe because you are the universe. There is no separation. And that's what I want to remind you of this week. Doing really wonderful, positive things for yourself will have a positive knock-on effect for the whole world because there is no separation. As you heal your emotions, you are helping other people around you to heal their emotions as well. And it can be really fascinating to see how people react and act differently towards us after we've been through a period of healing. It can be really quite revealing to show the difference in energy that's actually taken place when we do our own healing work. So meditate, heal, stay calm, my friends. I know this is such a difficult point in history, but remember, nothing has gone wrong. Everything is in perfect and divine balance right now. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please do remember to like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if there's something you'd like to share with us all, and I will see you all again soon.